What up, fellas? It's your boy, Freelancer, and what we're going to talk about is the monthly roundup of February 2020. Now, this month, I mean, outside of drill, especially UK drill, it's been pretty much terrible, in my opinion. But there have been some interesting stuff in it with regards to drill, right? Okay, so LD did put out an album. I never really heard of a guy beforehand. I'm not really big into UK drill, but I think especially with people like 808 Mellow, Chap House Mob, house beats, people like that, kind of put me onto them a little bit, and yeah, and I just kind of like started to develop an interest in it over the past few months, to try and understand a bit more, and especially Abracadabra. He was the first UK drill rapper I personally really cared for like that. I heard on deck, and I was like, oh, this song's really good. So I put some tabs up on them, and so Digga D and LD put out an album this month, I believe. And yeah, the LD album, you know what? There's a track on there called "The Ride Out," and that's probably the best song I've heard so far this year. It's the only song, overall song, or maybe that I'm bringing it back from Digga D, but it's one of the few songs this year that I can legit go, man, this is a great song. This is something that I, as a hip hop fan, will look for. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a drill song, so it's like a subgenre of hip hop, but like, man, this is what I look for. I look for great beats, has a fantastic beat to ride out. I look for interesting vocal performances. I love the way LD sounded on it. It fit really well. Great track, great beat. You know what I mean? And the chorus was nice as well. Like the interesting conversational tone. Like I tried to like look into like a rap genius on it to try and like decipher if there's like a more cohesive story to it, but it definitely kind of going for that sort of vibe in the lyrics, which is really cool. And this is what UK drill needs, in my opinion. It needs something that makes it more substantial. Now, I'm not saying it has to do, political messages or something stupid, stuff like that, because sometimes that can backfire a lot of the time, in my opinion. But this is what it needs. It needs creative beats, great vocals, interesting song structures, right? And it will elevate itself, right? You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I love Pop Smoke, because Pop Smoke had me through one. That whole tape pretty much has great beats, great vocals, and interesting, catchy choruses, stuff like that, right? And yeah, Ride Out, absolutely fantastic beat, probably one of the best beats I've heard so far this year. Now the rest of the tape as well. Who's watching? It was cool. The outro was decent. Labor, I think, came out late 2019. But also a decent song as well. I checked it out. The rest of the tape, there weren't any like whack songs on it per se, but and it kind of fit within the aesthetic of UK drill, which is something that I like, and it's probably the album of the year so far, which is, I don't know, saying a lot. We're only 2 months in. It's been a quiet year in general, right? But it's definitely the album of the year so far to me. The Who's Watching by LD. If I had to give it a rating, it'd probably be like a C plus, B minus. It wasn't like an amazing project, but there were like one song that I love, a couple songs I think are decent, and I'm looking forward to LD does in the future, right? So good project. Gotta give him a thumbs up for that. Digga D. A similar thing, I think, with the Digga D project. I believe it's called Made in the Pyrex, right? The tape, yeah. So Made in the Pyrex, I think it was less consistent. It kind of like there was some more popular tracks on there. There was some more other stuff. You know what I mean? It wasn't just strictly UK drill, and that to me kind of it sounded like he was pandering a little bit more, in my opinion, towards a more popular audience, or towards like other, including like more like, like I don't want to say reggae, but like dancehall kind of beats on there, which is cool. But to me, I don't really care for that sort of thing. I'm a hip hop fan, not really a dancehall kind of guy or a reggae kind of guy personally. But the tape, bringing it back, that's a hot track, and that's a pretty big single in UK, doing quite well, getting to top 10, which is really surprising for a UK drill song. But that's a great track, in my opinion. There was another song in it called No Chorus, which was pretty cool. I think one of the things that holds me from like loving Diggity is the vocals, especially with the ad libs and stuff like that. It's cool for like a song here and now, but it uses a bit too much. But it worked on bringing it back, and it worked on No Chorus. Those are dope songs. So gotta give Diggity credit for that, and I gotta give Diggity credit for doing something a bit different and doing something. Even if it's not the whole tape, but having dope songs for sure. Number three, and this is kind of a toss up between Pop Smoke and 808 Mellow, because obviously it was a Pop Smoke song App. But 808 Mellow also has a like a instrumental called like the Timberland Justin Timberlake drill beat. That's what's listed on his YouTube channel. It doesn't really have a proper name, but just go on his YouTube channel. There's a beat on it called UK Drill Timberland Justin Timberlake, and that beat is fire. That beat is crazy ill. And the beat he did for App was up too. There's two versions. I think version which is him on his channel, and the official version. Both are dope. Both are really great, in my opinion. or at least the beats are really great. The song itself, it's a good song. You know, it's a good song from Pop Smoke. Definitely better than 99%, if not, actually no, better than every song from the album, right? From the posthumous album, in my opinion. More true to what his sound was, more true to what he brought into the game with Meet the Woo 1, right? And even Meet the Woo 2, right? You know what I mean? With those first two Meet the Woo tapes, especially the first one though, and songs like Flex and what he did in 2019 for hip hop, in my opinion. So App was a dope track, in my opinion. The flow kind of reminded me a little bit of what he did the chorus for that I think the Kid Cudi song Show Out, right? The chorus kind of reminded me a little bit of that, and the verses kind of similar flow plan to that. But it was a dope track in my opinion. If you're not a Pop Smoke fan, this won't change anything. But if you are a Pop Smoke fan, I highly recommend checking out App. It's a great track. If you're looking for some like a great beat, good vocals, yeah, it's a dope track. Absolutely, one of the better songs I've had of the year. Now, outside of those three things, I mean, there was a Drake snippet, eh, like going for like that Playboy Cardi kind of sound, but the vocals weren't all the way there and the beat wasn't all the way there. It was kind of like t-shirting or like delving in a little bit into like that not Playboy, the Playboy Cardi, but the Pierre Bourne, to that kind of production style, but not quite as good. There was I think a Griselda album which was with the Conway and whatever. I'm not personally big into Conway, but if you're into Griselda, Conway did an album with a Big Ghost, I think it is, or something like that. Um, I'm not big into that, so I didn't really check it out like that. Didn't really, let it sit with me. The Gets album, Conflict of Interest, came out. I wanted to like it more than I did because I saw it had like a really high Metacritic score and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, Gets, getting 95%. Okay, so I checked it out. IC3 was, I think I mentioned in my the 20 roundup video, the verses were cool, but I wasn't 100% the beat. That's pretty much this album in a nutshell. I think some of the production kind of sounds a bit like my favorite song, and it was the Flintstone song, the Brimstone. I can't remember exactly what the name was, but even then, that song wasn't really, didn't really hit me like that because I'm listening to it going, this reminds me of 21 Savage and Metro Boomin, No Advance, right? And that's what I was thinking. And the second I thought that, I kind of lost interest in the song. Like, it's a cool album, but the production just didn't hit me all the way there. It's not 100% for me personally. So And Soul Tie, like I said, Conway, Bobby Shmurda got released from prison. If that interests you, I don't mind the song, that he's known for. Um, but yeah, I'm not. I mean, I heard a rumor he's working with 808 Mello. I mean, okay, hey, my cat could be working with 808 Mello, and I'll check it out, right? You know what I mean? Or he's one of those producers right now, 808 Mello, who him, Pierre Bourne are the best producers over the past 3 years, in my opinion. And it's not really close to me. There's so many dope beats between those between those two producers. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much this month. Next month, I think Pusha T's coming out of an album, hoping it's good. The Redman's coming out of an album, hoping it's good. Not got high hopes for, especially for the Redman album. I mean, Pusha T wasn't 100% on what's that, Daytona. I think that was definitely an overrated album personally, but I like these first two albums. There were joints in it for sure, like Got 'Em Covered, like King Push, like Numbers on the Board, like Suicide, like the intro to his sophomore album, or like there were dope songs for sure. Crutches, Crosses, Caskets. I hate saying that title, but that song is dope as fuck, right? So I'm looking forward to what Pusha T brings to the table this album. I wish there was a single or something came out so I could make a more thorough assessment going into it. So yeah, so that's hip hop in a nutshell, February 2021. Yeah, it's still not that great, but UK Drill's doing some interesting stuff. So yeah, gotta give credit where credit is due. LD Ride Out, best song heard so far this year. You know, hey, let's see what the rest of the year brings. Peace out. Oh yeah, let me know in the comment section below if I missed out anything or any great artists or any albums that I should have checked out from this month. What were your favorite songs from this month so far? Or well, we got like a few hours left. But what's your favorite songs from this month? What's your favorite songs of this year so far? What should I review? What should I talk about? Let me know in the comment section below. Peace. Bye.